Let's go, it's the Whitey Show. Whitey Show. Whitey Show. Whitey Show. Whitey Show. The story of Red Dead is basically the same formula as Grand Theft Auto or any other sandbox game, where you basically play as the main character John and you meet various different people throughout in this setting, the Wild West, and the whole main point of the story is to get revenge on the people that left you dead. And Dutch is the leader of his old gang, and basically they left him to die and they shot him. That's not a spoiler, that's like the first cinema you see. And you're basically going through what I just said, a revenge tale. You want to kill these motherfuckers who left you for dead. And you meet just such different types of characters that it really does grab your attention most of the time. Now, I'm saying most of the time because while some characters are great, other characters felt like, why the fuck am I even doing their missions? Especially most of the characters in the Mexico part of the game, which is, there's 3 segments through the game. In the middle segment, that's Mexico, is very boring in my opinion. There's absolutely no draw to the game. It feels boring. It feels like filler. This, of course, is my personal opinion, but I felt this is very, very drawn out. And while the characters, for the most part, are interesting in the first and later half of the game, the middle part just really drags on and kills the game for me in terms of pacing. And I feel this game has very weird pacing. It starts off slow, gets really good, starts off really slow again, then gets pretty damn good at the end, and the ending is a great conclusion to the whole game. But that middle part really drags down, hurts the overall story, and on top of that, some of the cinemas just feel like they're dragging on forever, almost in a Metal Gear fashion. Now, I'm not saying they're 5 hours or anything, but, I mean, they are too long for what they're trying to show. However, with the great voice acting, with some very memorable characters, and an excellent conclusion, probably the best Rockstar has ever had, I can't hate the story too much, but it definitely gets hurt because of the middle segment of the game. The graphics are great for what it is. This is a huge world to explore. The facial expressions are just great for how big this world is for a sandbox game. Usually they suck. They're excellent here. The customization to your character is not amazing or anything, but it does change for different costumes, and it shows in the cinema, so that's really cool. And overall, everything looks pretty good. The animations are pretty good. Everything good. The only thing I would have to say is bad is that it feels very empty at times. It is the Wild West, and it is, it's basically trees and empty fields. It gets boring if you ride too much, but luckily you can skip around. I'll get to that later. But overall, in terms of everything else, the graphics look amazing. And Rockstar, once again, obviously has that A production team for graphic-wise. Well, the gameplay is basically like any other sandbox game mixed with a few new elements. But the main idea is that you're a character, you use this character to get to one mission objective, which is usually a guy or a girl that gives you things to do like blow this up, save me, help me, grab that, get that, blah blah blah. You get the idea. It's the same idea. The mission structure is the same. Run to a point A, talk, go to point B, bam, it's done. I felt that there wasn't a lot of variety in this game for the missions. I felt they did it better in Grand Theft Auto, to be honest, but it's still there somewhat, and there's some excellent missions, but overall the mission structure just, there's not enough difference in all of them. They all feel the same. Basically, the majority, you will talk to somebody, follow them around on your horse, and then kill some people. That's basically the majority of the missions. Some are really different and great, but like I just said, a big chunk of it is the same old, and it does get repetitive. However, the main gameplay of riding the horse works pretty good once you get used to it. I'm going to admit it takes a little while to get used to, but once you do, it's pretty damn good. The shooting is better than ever. Grand Theft Auto had major problems with it. This fixes all those problems. The shooting works really well. The Red Dead feature, which is basically slowing down time and targeting a bunch of different people and then all shooting at once, kind of like Call of Juarez, works excellent. Thumbs up, really fun to use, and goddamn it, do you need it a lot of times. And the variation in different guns is definitely really cool because you can use shotguns, you can use pistols, you can use rifles, and so on. It can even have a lasso, which you hog tie enemies up instead of killing them if you want to get extra bounty and everything. And using all these different weapons and then upgrading them is cool because they actually look different and for different uses. So overall, weapon-wise, combat-wise, works really well. Everything's good there. In terms of side missions, I didn't personally find them all that fun, but there's plenty to do. Unlike another game that Rockstar recently made, there's plenty to do. Bounties, playing blackjack, poker. You even have this thing called Night Watch, which basically you follow a dog around and he sniffs out trouble at night, and then bam, you can either capture whoever's messing around or kill whatever's eating your livestock and so on. The point is you get money. So it's really cool to do all these different things. You can even skin animals and sell that, or make new clothes, or you can just kill people and loot their body and take bullets and money. So it's really cool that they add all these little things to the kind of sandbox genre to make it bigger and more fun. And while the land is basically empty for the majority of the place, there is a quick travel feature, which basically you set camp and then you can quick travel to most big areas, and that just saves time, and in my opinion a very good feature. Grand Theft Auto had something like that, you call a taxi, but this just seems so much more simpler. So overall, the game is very well done. If you're looking for a sandbox game with great shooting, a good cover system, plenty to do, there's not a shortage of that, and basically just having a blast killing things in the Wild West, you're going to enjoy this game a lot. Like I said, I wish the missions varied a little more, but besides that, the gameplay is top notch and definitely works well for this type of genre. Now when you read the end score, you're probably wondering, one, there's going to be fanboys of this game and saying, why'd you give it a lower score than most sites? Two, you're going to ask, where the hell is the multiplayer talked about? I'll get to that in a second. And three, why is there a negative feature? Well, I don't have any footage of it. For some reason, I couldn't find any of it. But while I played this game, I ran into at least 7 to 8 glitches. That is unacceptable in my opinion. Glitches I'm talking about when you're supposed to jump on a train and your guy goes through the train and dies on train track, from being on a boat and fucking falling through the boat. And, you know, things like with a horse and basically you get stuck to his ass and then you become like a centaur or some shit. I'm like, what's happening? Why did he so many glitches? This is a big-ass company. This is not polished enough. And that's a problem I had with the game, is that there were too many glitches. There is multiplayer, and it is fun, especially with friends. I played co-op. Well, it's not really co-op, but it is basically free roaming with 4 other friends. And while it is fun, the most fun we had is when we kept killing each other, because basically that's what you can do in free roam. You can kill the villagers, you can kill bears and kill the gangs, but the real fun is killing other people. So just hop onto versus mode, and I'm sure it works much better now. The first few days had a few glitches, but now it seems to work a lot better. So there is versus mode and plenty to unlock, like costumes, different horses, and all that great stuff that you people love. So you got plenty of stuff to do after you beat the long single player. And if you go straight through the story mode without doing most of the side quests, you can beat it within like 15 to 18 hours. But most people are going to do side quests because, you know, people, you know, get involved into the story and game. So there's plenty to do in this game. There's no shortage of that, and I give it, you know, thumbs up for that. But the glitches, the story just drags on in the middle, and, you know, the mission's just not varying enough, really hurt it for me. I'm not going to give it a bad score. By all means, Red Dead is a great game. I'm just saying that it just didn't feel like the full potential that it could have been. So, well, Red Dead is a great game, and I suggest it to most fans, especially Wild West fans or Sandbox fans. I have to say that it did have a few problems that really bugged it down for me. But overall, it should be checked out by at least anybody who's a gaming fan at all. And of course, you know, fanboys are going to go crazy over the score. Shut the fuck up, okay? Have a good one.